Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm backing in today for another game review, and today I'm very excited checking out Frenemy Pastry Party from Mizo Games. This for ages 8+, for take about 15 to 30 minutes to play, and it's for 3 to 6 players. And in Frenemy Pastry Party, you're going to be playing as various different animals that for some reason are running a bakery, and you're going to be baking cakes and potentially helping other people bake cakes, or not helping them bake cakes, because baking cakes with them is going to get you victory points, but it's also going to get them victory points. There's going to be some various different backstabby things where you might say, oh, I don't have the ingredients that you need, even though you might secretly have them. It's a very light, simple filler game, but is it good? Let's open it up. I'll tell you what I think. Right then, we're going to take a look at what's going to get inside of Frenemy Pastry Party. So first and foremost, we have our handy-dandy rule booklet. You're going to need about 4 or 5 pages of it. Double-sided, it's got some pictures, some illustrations, some examples, and except for one huge glaring mistake, it's very well done. The huge glaring mistake is what they like to call a baking failure. So they tell you all about the successful bake, which will happen, but they don't tell you how a baking failure works. They just omitted it from the rule booklet. That's a huge issue, because a baking failure, you need to know what that does. Luckily, though, we looked it up, we figured it out, and we can tell you when we show you how to play the game, but still, huge oversight in the rule booklet. So in Frenemy Pastry Party, what you're trying to do is you're trying to have the most points at the end of the game. You are going to get points by either baking cakes or by helping other people bake cakes by giving them ingredients to bake said cakes. What am I talking about? Let's go over the components. Let's get into the gameplay. So first, component-wise, everyone's going to start off with one of these 6 cards right here, and they're very simple. These are endgame scoring. So if you have the most strawberries in your score pile, 3 points, the most mangoes, so on and so forth, of the 5 different fruits, and the chocolate, you're going to get 3 points. This one, which I do think is slightly imbalanced, is that if you have the most cards in your score pile, then you will get 3 points as well. So what's going to happen at the beginning of the game is everyone's going to get 1 of these cards. Hooray, I'm trying to give people kiwi. Then everyone's going to get dealt 2 of these cards, and then you're going to set 5 out here, and then you're going to set 3 up here. The game will end either when all these cards are gone, so once you use them or discard them, they just go away, or when there's only 2 cakes left up here, at which point that will trigger the end of the game. So let's go over how your simple turn is going to work. So first thing you're going to do on your turn is you have 2 choices. The first choice is you can take an ingredient from out here. Just one ingredient, unless there's 4 of an ingredient. So let's pretend the strawberry was a mango. Then we could take 2 mangoes or the strawberry. Right now we can only take a mango or a strawberry. I already have a mango. Nothing out here really uses too much mango, so we'll just get ourselves a strawberry. That immediately gets replenished, and it moves on to the next player's turn. Simple as that. So let's just do some mock turns. So maybe I get this, maybe I get that, and then maybe I'll get this, and then it comes back to my turn. And let's say I would like to make a cake. So which cake can I probably do successfully? So as you can see from my ingredients, I currently can't make any cakes in the game. But luckily, what you can do is you can kind of risk it for the biscuit a little bit and hope someone else is going to be able to help you out. So actually, I'm not prepared to make any of these cakes, so we'll just go right here. We'll say, I'm going to try and make this cake right here. So now this is where the game kind of gets interesting, and this is the main aspect of the game. You can ask up to 2 people to help you make things for the cake, and it's kind of got slightly Go Fish-esque aspect, but with lying. So I might look over to this player over here, and I might say, hey, can you add any blueberries to the cake? So, let's just pretend that this is their hand right here. They can say either, no, I don't have any blueberries, even though they obviously do have a blueberry, or they can add up to 3 blueberries, because that's the required amount. Now, why would they want to help me, you may ask? Because when they help me, so let's just pretend that they happen to have 3 blueberries. Bloop, 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 bloop. So they might play these 3 blueberries down, which at this point I am breathing a huge sigh of relief, because that's what I really needed to make the cake. Now, they put down the 3 blueberries. I can continue to ask them for more fruits, or I can either say we're done and then ask one other person for more fruits, or I can just complete the cake myself. So in this time, I'm just going to complete the cake, and I'll say, all right, here's the 2 mangoes, here's the 1 kiwi. Wait, here's the 1 kiwi, and here is the 1 strawberry. Now, all of my ingredients go back in the box. You can just put them away. You're not going to need them anymore. And then I take this, and all the different cakes are worth 5 points. So this is worth 5 points. It goes right underneath my scorecard right here. Now, this other guy, he's going to take these 3 blueberries, and he's going to put them under his scorecard as well, because every ingredient that you add to somebody else's cake is going to get you 1 point. So while I got 5 points there, this guy also got 3 points from helping me, which is big for him, especially if he potentially had this card right here, which just means you want to donate a whole bunch of ingredients, or especially if he had this one right here, which means you want to donate a whole bunch of blueberries, because now he's probably going to be able to get those 3 victory points at the end of the game, because this is a pretty snappy game. It goes by pretty quickly. So then you replenish this, and you keep going on in your merry way. Now, let's pretend, back in this example right here, that I was still short a mango. So let's say he had given me his 3 blueberries, and I said, hey, do you have a mango I can use? And he might say, no, I don't have a mango for you. I still can ask one other person for ingredients. And I'd probably want to say, oh, can you give me a mango? And then this person would then decide, do I want to give him a mango or do I want to not? This is where the game gets interesting, because he probably knows that if he gives me the mango, I'm going to be able to complete the cake. And if I complete the cake, then I'm going to get 5 points. That guy's going to get 3 points. So he might say, I don't have anything, at which point I don't get to ask anybody else, and maybe I succeed, or maybe it's a baking failure, which, as I mentioned, is not mentioned in the rules. The baking failure means that everybody's just going to get their cards back, and you just essentially lose your turn. But everyone else also gets a lot of valuable information that, hey, this guy has 3 blueberries, and he's willing to dish them out, because what can happen in this game, and what does happen in this game quite frequently, is if someone has a baking failure, then you might go right back to that cake and say, hey, I saw you helped him out. You want to help me out? And that's part of the frenemy aspect of the game. Anywho, you're going to continue to go until all these cards are gone in this row, or until there's only 2 cakes left up here, at which point you will total up the points. You'll get points for the ingredients underneath your card. You'll get points for the cakes underneath your card. 5 points for a cake, 1 point for ingredients, and then you will see who has the most kiwis, who has the most chocolate, who has the most blueberry, etc., and award the 3 points only if you reached your goals. This is not a goal for everybody. This is just a goal for me. Whoever has the most points will be the winner of Frenemy Pastry Party, and that, in a nutshell, is how the game is played. Alrighty then, Frenemy Pastry Party from Mizo Games. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. First, on the con side, game's not going to be for everybody for a variety of different reasons. 3 to 6 players is a nice player count, but I would not recommend this as a 3 or 4 player game. I liked it best at 5 and 6. There's just more people, more ingredients out there, more going on, more potential to kind of screw people over, and it just makes the game better. I've tried it at all 4 of the player counts now, and I absolutely liked it best at 5 and 6 players. Even though the kids I played it with still enjoyed it at 3 and 4, I liked it best at the higher player counts, and I think most people would like it best at the higher player counts. The kids just didn't get a chance to play it at the higher player counts. Continuing on with the cons, that's a big omission in the rule booklet, especially if you don't find out about it beforehand like we did, where I was like, what do we do? Luckily, it's on Board Game Geek. They fixed it on Board Game Geek, but still, it looks amateurish, and it's something that you need to know going into the game, how the baking failure works. Omitting a bold-faced word is a big deal in a rule booklet. Continuing on with the cons, the game is repetitive. You're going to do the same thing over and over and over again. You're either going to bake a cake, or you're going to get ingredients. Bake a cake, get ingredients. Bake a cake, get ingredients. And the game can start off slow. The game will start off slow. Any other cons that I have with the game? I wish there were more. Scoring conditions at the end of the game. There's just 6. So you are going to know exactly all the different scoring conditions out there, which I think some people will say is a good thing for the game, but I personally would like more variety. And that's another thing. I feel like the one that says, oh, you just need to get have more ingredients than anybody else is slightly imbalanced, because it's still worth 3 points. I feel like that one should have been worth 2 points, because giving out ingredients is not particularly hard. Now, I know you can say, well, once they realize that you have that card, they're not going to be asking you. It's like, yeah, they're still going to ask you, because they're still going to want to bake their cakes to get those 5 points. I just felt like that should have been balanced a little bit better, and I feel like that's the one I would like to get every single time. And I think the majority of the times that we played, and I played this now 4 times, maybe 5 times, I think 3 of the times that person that had that card won the game. I think it is a pretty powerful card. Now, that being said, it's not huge. It's not wildly swingy. It just gives you a very narrow path to victory. A very obvious path to victory, which is to share. Whereas everyone else on their cards is like, okay, I need to share blueberries, but maybe blueberries don't come up. or maybe people are already picking up blueberries, whereas the person who has this card is just like, I can pick up whatever the hell I want because I'm just going to be giving it away to other people. But I continue on. It's not a huge deal, but something I did want to mention, and I'm nitpicking here, because moving on to the pros, I enjoyed Frenemy Pastry Party. I thought it was a good game. It gets dinged down because of that rules issue, and it gets dinged down because I'm not going to play it again at 3 and 4 players, but as a lightweight filler 5 to 6 player game, I think this is one that you definitely can get some enjoyment out. The box is small, the game doesn't outstay its welcome, it's relatively easy to learn and to teach, aside from that one bold word missing. And I like the artwork. Oh, that's one more con that I do have with the game, is that the iconography is not the best on the cake cards. They wanted to make the cake bigs and they made the icons small, and I feel like that was not a great decision. They should have made these icons larger, especially considering it's a 6-player game, so you might have a table like mine, which I believe is like 9 feet across or something like that, or like 7 or 8 feet across, where if you put everything in the middle, people on the sides aren't going to be able to see those icons as well. So I really wish they would have done something different to display those icons to make them a little bit more obvious what they are for people who aren't as close to the table. But on the pros, I think it's enjoyable. I think it's a good game. Is this a game that I'm going to play again? Probably. I'm going to keep it in my collection for the time being to see if it gets played as a lightweight filler game at 5 and 6 players. And I think it might. Now, moving on to the opinions of the kids in my classroom. As a family game, I think this is an okay family game. Not so much a good family game because there is definitely some backstabbing and that can hurt some kids' feelings. But if your kids are cool with that, I think they're going to enjoy this game a little bit more than if your kids are not cool with that, obviously. The kids in my class, they really dug that. They really... but then at the same time, this game does have the aspect where you can team up on someone, which is not that much fun. And you can just say, hey, let's just not help him bake anything. Or, hey, let's just not ask him. And is that really the fault of the game, or is it really the fault of the players? That's up for you to decide, but I did have some of that in the games in my class. In particular, in a 4-player game, where everyone was like, oh, let's beat Mr. Forrest, let's refuse to give him any ingredients or help him with any of his cakes or ask him to help us with the cakes, and I got completely just destroyed because the only way I could score points pretty much was to bake cakes when I had all the ingredients. So I would just spend ingredients. Oh, here's 5 points, whereas they're scoring points, pretty consistently. But carrying on, that's all I got. That's what I got. Frenemy Pastry Party. Is it mind-blowing? Is it amazing? Is it great? No, it's not. I think it's good. I think it's good, and I think if you're looking at it as a family weight game, it's okay to good. It's nothing that I would really go out of my way to play, but for the time being, I think it's going to stay in my collection because it scratches that 5 to 6 player filler weight itch. Easy to learn, easy to teach, like the artwork, like the theme, even though it's obviously pasted on. I mean, it's animals baking. But there you go. If you enjoy what I'm doing, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below. If you want to support the channel, click on the little Amazon associate link down below. And in the comments below, let me know, what is your favorite soda pop in the whole wide world? I don't know if it's really considered a soda pop, but for me, it's Yoo-Hoo. I love Yoo-Hoo. But let me know, what's your favorite soda pop? And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.